1957 that we were asked to find a substitute for nylon. And this nylon was used in the flight suits of the aviators. And the trouble with it was that it was flammable. They were in a fire, the suit would melt to the skin. When it pulled the burnt fabric off, the skin came with it. We started looking at many fabrics and subjected them to the flame contacts and the infrared heat and so on. And in the course of this exercise, we learned about a filament that DuPont was working with. It was called HT1, which was high temperature 1. This material was a filament, and it was very thick and totally unsuitable for clothing, but we figured, well, if we work on it, it doesn't melt, which is a big advantage, and DuPont can make it thinner and so on. So for the next 10 years or 15, I forget what, DuPont and our lab cooperated in producing fabric out of this filament. It had to be dyed green and orange because those were the colors that they needed for camouflage and for everyday use in the Navy. And that took years for DuPont to come up with it, but they did. They finally got suitable to make clothing. And then they had to get a name for this new fabric. And so I didn't know this, but companies convene a panel to find a name, and at DuPont they use a 6-letter name. So because it had the no melting quality, they were going to call it NOMEL. And then of course one of the criteria is that you have to spell it backwards to make sure it doesn't spell anything. But that's when it spells lemon. So they changed it. That's the truth.